I talked to Seymour about his theory on the Nord Stream bombing. And then a couple weeks later, I saw the New York Times article again with this. I mean, when you hear the details that Seymour gives you, and then you see the New York Times article, it was this wacky theory about some Bulgarians that rented a boat and went down there. And I was just like, look, I've never spent any time in CIA headquarters, but it didn't take an expert to realize that story sounded like somebody fed it to them, and they
Ridiculous.
just printed it up just to satisfy some things and just keep it moving. And it was just had a bunch of holes in it that even I could see from 1 hour with Seymour. So, but I guess the American public doesn't really know any better. They read it,
No.
they keep moving on. And so this is a psyops that works. You fool most of the people most of the time. And so it proceeds.
One of my closest friends used to be a boss of mine when I was on a 2-year rotation to the State Department. So he's a very senior former State Department official. In fact, I'm going to have dinner with him tonight. And when this explosion took place on the Nord Stream pipeline, I called him and I said, we had to have done this, right? I mean, it couldn't be anybody else. It had to be us. And he said, no, the Russians did it. And I said, you think the Russians blew up their own pipeline? What could they possibly have to gain by blowing up their own pipeline? Well, he said, it would be embarrassing for us. I said, Don, with all due respect, that doesn't make any kind of sense at all. And I talked to Cy Hirsch about it. And I said, this was us, right? And he said, well, it could be us. It could be the Ukrainians. And I said, yeah, if the Ukrainians had a mini sub that would allow them to go down there. But do they even have that kind of technology? I mean, we're the only ones that have that kind of technology that I know of. When I say we, I mean the United States and NATO. I just don't get what anybody else on the other side would have to gain from something like this. And sure enough, Cy was mostly right. If it wasn't us, it was the Ukrainians. We all suspected it. Even though the mainstream media doesn't want to actually come out and say it. And let me add something about Cy Hirsch too. You know, this is a guy who for the last 60 years has been one of the most highly honored, highly awarded journalists in America. The guy was the definition of investigative journalism in the second half of the 20th century. And he literally cannot get published anymore. I'm a member of a group called Veteran Intelligence Professionals for Sanity. It's a group of retirees from the CIA, the FBI, NSA, and the U.S. military. And we give an award every year called the Sam Adams Award for Integrity in Intelligence. We gave the award to Cy in 2017, and he complained then that he was under such pressure from the mainstream media here in the United States that the only place he could get his pieces published was in the London Review of Books, which is great. It's highly respected, but nobody reads the London Review of Books. They might have a few thousand subscribers. Now, here we are 5 years later, and he can't even get himself published in the London Review of Books. And so he's had to take to Substack to publish himself and to get the truth out there. That's how bad things have gotten here in the United States.
Yeah, if there was ever a perfect example, it's that. I mean, again, look at what he did with My Lai Massacre. I mean, this is
Exactly.
a guy. I mean, this is a guy who had, you know, he's shown that he has a commitment to journalism and to integrity enough to where, you know, he was hated and vilified by the military, but he brings that same ethics to what he's doing today, and now that these same publications won't touch him. And it's like Cy hasn't changed, the media has, right?
Oh, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
The media has changed. We've changed as Americans. Like, can you imagine, for example, the United States ever being able to point to someone, some media figure, and say, you know what? He's the new Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite's dead and gone. There will never be another Walter Cronkite. There will never be another media figure that a majority of Americans has respect for, to the point where every 4 years people say, you know what would be really great is if Walter Cronkite would run for president. That will never, ever happen again. Never.
Wow. Because there's nobody with that type of integrity in that space anymore. Yeah.
That person doesn't exist.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.